My name's Elias Carter, 32, Uber driver. And I swear on my life, I never expected a CIA agent to jump into my backseat screaming, "Drive, lose that black SUV." Yeah, that's exactly how my day flipped from boring to absolute chaos. One second I was minding my own business, just another ride request. Then this woman, late 30s, sharp navy suit, hair tied tight in a bun, mirrored sunglasses, practically dove into my car like her life depended on it. "Go, now." "No questions," she snapped, flashing a CIA badge like it was some magic ticket to madness. I stammered. "Wait, what?" "Black SUV, behind us. Move." I glanced at the rear view, and there it was. Tinted windows, no plates, creeping toward us. My instincts screamed, cancel the ride, floor it, run, all at once. But my hands did the dumbest thing imaginable. I shifted into drive and floored it. Tires screeched, horns blared. My little Corolla fishtailed onto M Street. "What the hell did you drag me into?" I shouted. "Surveillance compromised," she barked, scanning the road, eyes sharp as razors. "I'm being burned by someone inside my own agency." "Your CIA?" "Was. Maybe. If we survive the next 10 minutes. I swerved through a narrow alley, clipped a trash can, and shot back onto the main road. The SUV surged after us. "This isn't real," I muttered. "This isn't happening." "Keep driving," she growled, "unless you want both of us dead." Sirens wailed in the distance. Another vehicle joined the pursuit, a silver sedan this time, cutting us off ahead. "Blocked!" I shouted, yanking the wheel hard right. My Corolla jolted but held. "Lose them, and I'll explain," she promised, voice cold, steady. But I caught the tension underneath. Adrenaline hammered in my chest. "Ma'am, I just wanted to make rent." "You picked the wrong passenger," she said. "Or maybe the right one." Her words hit like a punch to the gut. Because from this moment on, my life would never be the same. I gripped the steering wheel like my life depended on it. Because it did. The woman in my backseat was cool, calculated, but her eyes gave her away. She was scared, just enough to make me realize this wasn't some training exercise. This was real. "Make a left. Now!" she barked. I slammed the brakes, swerved hard, nearly sideswiping a delivery truck. The black SUV overshot the turn, tires screeching as it tried to catch up. Okay, who are they? FBI, cops, mafia?" I gasped between clenched teeth. "Not FBI, not cops, not mafia," she shot back, scanning behind us. "They work for someone inside the agency." My heart sank. "You're telling me your own people are trying to kill you?" "Correct." "What the hell did you do?" "Exposed the wrong person," she said flatly. "Now eyes front, right turn, 2 streets down." I yanked the wheel. The sedan that had tried to block us swung back into pursuit, cutting a corner so hard it almost flipped. Both cars were gaining. "You got a name, or do I just call you CIA lady?" I blurted, trying to hide the panic. She hesitated. Then, "Call me Harper, Agent Harper." "Great. Well, Agent Harper, unless you've got a rocket launcher in that handbag, we're toast." "I don't need a rocket launcher. Take the next left. Trust me." I did. Straight into a parking garage. One of those sketchy, dim-lit concrete mazes. My tires screamed as we spiraled upward. "Faster," she snapped. "They're gonna trap us in here." "Exactly." I shot her a horrified glance in the rear view. "What?" "They expect us to go out the other side, but they don't know this garage connects to the next block if we time it right." "Time it right?" I yelled, nearly slamming into a concrete pillar. "3rd floor, left ramp. Do it." I hit the ramp just as the black SUV skidded in behind us. The silver sedan blocked the entrance. "Go!" Harper shouted. I floored it. At the end of the 3rd floor ramp was a chain-link gate. Locked. "Oh, hell no." "Hit it," she ordered. I closed my eyes, screamed something that wasn't exactly a prayer, and rammed the gate. Metal crunched. The Corolla bucked but blasted through, sparks flying. We shot out, right onto a service road behind the building. Freedom, or so I thought. Harper cursed under her breath. 2 more vehicles incoming. They've upgraded. A matte black SUV and a motorcycle with a masked driver screeched into view, blocking the far end. "Oh, come on!" I groaned. Harper yanked something from her jacket, a small black box with a blinking light. Keep driving straight. Don't ask. Driving straight means driving into them. Trust me. Every instinct told me to stop, to bail. But something about the way she said it, cold, confident, like someone who'd done this 100 times before, made me trust her. I accelerated straight at the roadblock. The motorcycle lurched forward. Harper clicked the box. A pulse shot out, a blue wave I could feel in my bones. The motorcycle sputtered, lights went dead, and the SUV's engine coughed once, then died. What? What the hell was that? I gasped, swerving around the stunned drivers. EMP jammer, she said, tucking the device back into her coat. Short range, one-time use. My jaw hung open. Lady, you are terrifying. Good. We're not done yet. As we sped toward the highway, my phone buzzed. A notification popped up. Rider, Harper, trip time, 18 minutes. Fare, $14.80. I let out a broken laugh. Best $14 you've ever spent. She met my eyes in the mirror. You might earn a bit more if you help me survive the next 24 hours. Continue with Chapter 3. Você diz, go. Oh, ChatGPT diz. The highway stretched ahead. Open, fast, mercifully free of tailing cars, for now. My hands trembled on the wheel, knuckles pale, adrenaline still dumping into my veins like a busted faucet. You owe me an explanation, I snapped. A real one. What the hell did I just get dragged into? Harper peeled off her sunglasses, revealing sharp green eyes. Tired, but laser-focused. I was stationed inside an internal task force, counterintelligence. For months I was tracking something. Something ugly. Define ugly, I shot back. She sighed, glancing behind us again. A mole. Someone inside the CIA, feeding classified intel to hostile actors, selling secrets to God knows who. I blinked. You serious? Dead serious. I got too close. Found the leak. The leak found out. And now here we are. Wait, my brain caught up. You mean the CIA is hunting you because you were trying to expose someone inside the CIA? She nodded grimly. I uploaded the proof to an off-grid server. Only problem. They found my safe house before I could extract it. Fantastic, I groaned. So now the entire intelligence community thinks I'm your getaway driver. Not the entire community, she corrected. Just the traitors. But if they catch me, they'll erase me, and anyone helping me. Lady, I don't even know how to spell espionage. And now I'm an accessory to treason, sedition. What are we even doing? Surviving, she said, calmly pulling out a burner phone. And you're not my accessory. You're my extraction. I laughed nervously. Yeah? Well, does your extraction come with hazard pay? She gave a slight smirk. Depends if we make it out alive. Before I could process that, the phone in her hand buzzed. She glanced at it. Then her face turned stone cold. Change of plans. Uh-oh. What now? They found the drop point. We can't go there. Then where? There's a fallback contact. Name's Nico, former agency, off-grid. Paranoid as hell, but reliable. Great, I muttered. Where's he at? Her lips tightened. Baltimore. Baltimore? That's an hour away. 50 minutes if you stop whining and drive. I blew out a breath, merging onto the I-95. All right, Baltimore. What could possibly go wrong? No sooner had the words left my mouth, my dashboard lit up. GPS error, signal lost. What the? Harper cursed. They're jamming local signals. A shrill chirp blared from behind us. I checked the mirror. Drone. Small, fast, low-flying. A surveillance drone locked onto us like a hawk. You gotta be kidding me. Stay calm. Bridge ahead. Tunnel route under the river. Lose it there, Harper said, already scanning for solutions. I'm in a Corolla, not a getaway car. Today it is, she shot back. The drone dipped lower. Its camera glowed red, tracking us, probably feeding footage straight to whoever wanted Harper dead, and by extension, me. Left lane. Now, she ordered. I swerved. Horns blared. A semi blasted its air horn as I cut in front of it. Tunnel's coming up, she said. When we hit the shadow line, brake hard, cut lights. Lady, this is insane. Do it. The tunnel swallowed us in shadow. I killed the headlights, slammed the brakes, The car behind us blared past. Harper yanked something from her jacket, a sheet of reflective mylar. She slapped it against the rear window. "Thermal shield," she explained. "It'll think we vanished." The drone buzzed past, scanning, then zipped further down the tunnel, chasing ghosts. My pulse pounded so loud I couldn't hear the engine. "Holy crap," I gasped. "It worked." "For now," Harper nodded. "But it won't take them long." As we rolled out the other side of the tunnel, she turned to me, eyes dead serious. "Elias, if you bail now, I won't blame you. This gets worse from here." I gripped the wheel tighter. Thought about it. Really thought about it. Then sighed. "Screw it. In for a penny." She smiled, just slightly. "Good choice." And with that, we were headed for Baltimore. Baltimore's skyline loomed in the distance, but every mile felt like a ticking bomb strapped to my dashboard. I gripped the wheel tighter, checking the mirrors every 30 seconds. Harper sat rigid in the back, phone in one hand, scanning frequencies with some tiny military-grade scanner in the other. "Explain this Nico person," I said, trying to focus on the road and not the 1,000 ways I might die today. Harper tapped the screen. "Nico's ex-CIA. Retired after the Bangkok incident." I blinked. "Wait, the Bangkok incident? The one with the—" "Yep, that was him. After that he vanished. Went completely off-grid. Doesn't trust anyone. But if there's anyone who can get me out of this, it's him." "Define get you out?" I asked, suspicion creeping into my voice. "New identity? Black market extraction? Clean exit?" I swallowed. "That sounds expensive." Harper cracked a grin. "Let's just say the CIA owes me a severance package. They just don't know it yet." A sudden beep from her scanner cut the tension. Her smile vanished. "We've got a problem." "Define problem." "Encrypted chatter. Local cell just activated. Someone flagged our plates." "Oh, come on," I shouted, slamming the steering wheel. "This isn't Fast and Furious. I'm not Vin Diesel." Harper calmly opened her briefcase. When the hell did she even have time to grab a briefcase? Inside was a small roll of fake plates. "Pull over, quick." I swerved into a gas station lot. Harper jumped out, popped my trunk like she'd done it 100 times, and swapped the plates in under 30 seconds. By the time she slid back in, a black SUV cruised past the entrance without even glancing at us. "Subtle," I muttered, easing back onto the road. "Not my first rodeo," she replied. We cruised through the outskirts of Baltimore, weaving through industrial parks and run-down neighborhoods. Harper guided me to an abandoned warehouse near the docks. "Here," she said. "Nico's inside." I pulled in, engine idling. "This feels murdery." Harper stepped out, scanned the area, then walked to a rusted steel door. She knocked, 3 short, 2 long, 1 short. A slot slid open, a pair of eyes glared out. Then, "Harper, it's me, Nico." The door creaked open, and out stepped a man who looked like a conspiracy theory wrapped in paranoia. Mid-50s, gray beard, military jacket patched with random countries' flags. A pistol hung casually from his hip. His left eye was cybernetic, no joke. A glowing red lens clicked as it zoomed in on me. "Who's the civilian?" he growled. "Driver," Harper answered. "Liability." "Asset," she corrected. Nico snorted. "We'll see." He waved us inside. The place was a bunker disguised as a junkyard. Computers, signal jammers, old surveillance gear, and racks of weapons lined the walls. "All right," Nico said, pulling up schematics on a battered laptop. "Let's get one thing clear. You're radioactive, Harper. Whole East Coast's crawling. Your face is on more screens than a Super Bowl commercial." "Yeah," she muttered. "I figured. You bring the data?" She pulled a small drive from her jacket and handed it over. Nico plugged it in. "Holy," he muttered as files opened. This is bigger than I thought." "Told you," Harper said. I leaned in. "Bigger how?" Nico's eye flicked to me. "Buddy, she didn't stumble on a mole. She stumbled on the mole. This is top tier, shadow operations, sanctioned hits, political blackmail, people at the top." I felt my stomach drop. Harper nodded grimly. "Yeah, and now? They know I know." Nico turned to me, serious. "Listen, kid, you want out? You walk now. This is your last clean exit." I looked at Harper, then at the mess of files on the screen. And I realized something terrifying. If I walk away, they'll come for me anyway. I'm in, I said, surprising even myself. Let's finish this. Nico grinned. Good, because we've got exactly 6 hours before they find this place. Nico's cybernetic eye zoomed in on a grainy satellite feed displayed on one of his battered monitors. They've already pinged 3 cell towers nearby, he muttered, which means they're triangulating. Triangulating what? I asked, dreading the answer. This place, Harper said flatly. We're burning daylight. Nico cracked his knuckles. We've got one shot at this. The drive contains an entire blueprint of a black ops network buried inside the CIA. Not rogue agents, whole departments, names, account numbers, safe houses, kill lists. He glanced at Harper. And one smoking gun, the identity of the person running it all. My skin prickled. So, why don't we just email this to the press? Nico laughed, short, bitter. These people own the media. Half the government's either in their pocket or too scared to lift a finger. Harper nodded. We need a hard release, full dump. Public, irreversible, impossible to suppress. Nico paced, tapping commands into a terminal. There's one place, a dead drop server operated by an independent journalism collective, heavily encrypted. Once it goes live there, it spreads like wildfire. No taking it back. Sounds simple enough, I said, almost believing it. Nico gave me a withering look. Except it's not. The server's air-gapped. No remote upload. You gotta be physically there. Where? Downtown D.C. I nearly choked. You're telling me we fled D.C. to Baltimore just so we could go back to D.C.? Harper crossed her arms. It's the only way. Nico tapped a key. A blueprint of a building popped up. Independent Media Alliance, 3rd floor, server room. You get the drive plugged in. It auto-launches the file globally. Let me guess. I sighed. It's crawling with surveillance. And, Nico added, someone inside that building flagged as compromised. You'll be walking into a hornet's nest. I rubbed my face. Why does this keep getting worse? Harper grabbed a duffel bag from Nico's supply wall. Inside, gear, disguises, license plates, burner phones, even a stun gun. You're not going in as yourself, she said. You're going in as a courier. Nico nodded. I've spoofed a courier manifest. You'll walk through the front like you're delivering a server part. Like a FedEx guy? Exactly. Awesome, I deadpanned. From Uber driver to undercover courier in under 24 hours. Career upgrade. Harper slung a smaller bag over her shoulder. We split once we get there. I create a distraction. You head for the server. My pulse spiked. Wait, you're not coming with me? Elias, they know me. I can't step foot inside. You're invisible to them. I stared at her, then at Nico. This is suicide. Not if you move fast, Nico said. And smart. A sudden beep echoed from one of the monitors. Nico's face twisted. Uh-oh. What? Harper and I asked at the same time. They found us. Security cams flashed. 3 SUVs rolled into the block. Men in tactical gear fanned out, assault rifles in hand. We're blown. Nico growled. Time to move. Harper shoved a burner phone and a map into my hand. Routes marked. Get to the exit point. What about you? We'll buy you time, she said, sliding a pistol into her holster. My mouth went dry. Wait, you expect me to go alone? Nico slapped a button. The wall behind us slid open, revealing an underground tunnel. This feeds into the sewer system. Follow it west, pops out near the train yard. Cars stashed there. Keys in the visor. The sound of boots stomping overhead rattled the ceiling. Shouts, commands, gun safeties clicking off. Harper grabbed my shoulder. Elias, you've got this. Before I could respond, before I could protest, a blast shook the building. Smoke poured in from the main entrance. Go! Harper shoved me toward the tunnel. Now! I bolted. Behind me, the gunfire erupted. Screams, glass shattering, the thunder of combat. I sprinted into the darkness, every step pounding with one terrifying truth. This wasn't just about Harper anymore. Now, it was about me. The tunnel was damp, narrow, and smelled like something had died in it, probably more than once. My breath echoed off the concrete walls as I sprinted, map clenched in one sweaty hand, burner phone jammed in my pocket. Every instinct screamed, turn back, wake up, this isn't real. But it was. Oh, it was painfully real. Somewhere behind me, gunfire still echoed faintly, Harper and Nico holding them off, buying me time, or maybe buying themselves an exit too. I didn't know. I couldn't think about it. The map led me to a rusted ladder bolted to the wall. I scrambled up, shoved open a manhole cover, and climbed out into daylight. Train yard. Just like Nico said. I scanned frantically. And there it was, a beat-up gray sedan, parked crooked behind an abandoned shipping container. I sprinted over, yanked open the door, checked the visor. Keys. Jackpot. I slid into the driver's seat and fired it up. The engine coughed, then caught. You've got one job, I muttered to the car. Don't die on me. The burner phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered with a shaky, yeah? Harper's voice, tight but alive. Status? I'm out. I got the car, heading for the drop point. Good, she breathed. Listen, Nico's down. My stomach sank. Dead? Not sure. Last I saw, he blew the side wall open. Got hit, but he was breathing. I gripped the wheel tighter. Are you okay? Bruised, not shot. Yet, she echoed grimly. You've got the most important piece now. Keep moving. They'll scan every highway exit between Baltimore and D.C. Suggestions? Yeah, she said. Don't take the highway. I pulled up the map Nico had marked. Back roads? Exactly. Stay under the radar. If you see a drone, ditch the car, get under something. Awesome. Fantastic. Love this for me. Elias? Her voice softened. I know you didn't sign up for this. No, it's fine, I said, voice tight. I just wanted 5 stars and gas money. Now I'm starring in Mission Impossible, Budget Edition. A small, tired laugh slipped from her. You're doing better than most trained agents would. Not sure if that's comforting. Stay sharp. Call me when you hit the 10-mile mark. The line went dead. I gunned the car toward a service road Nico had drawn in red. Trees blurred past. Abandoned farmhouses. Long, cracked stretches of road that hadn't seen maintenance since the 90s. The tension was unbearable. Every car I passed looked suspicious. Every distant noise felt like a threat. And then, a noise that wasn't distant. A loud buzz filled the air. Drone! I hissed, scanning the skies. Where are you? There. Left quadrant. Small black speck moving fast. Too low to be a hobbyist. It veered toward me. Crap. I slammed the brakes, cut the wheel, and swerved into the woods. Branches scraped the paint. The sedan jolted over rocks and roots, suspension howling in protest. I spotted a drainage tunnel up ahead. Low, wide, concrete. Please fit. I gunned it straight for the tunnel. The car scraped both sides but slid inside just as the drone zipped overhead. Its camera scanned, then passed right by. I killed the engine, killed the lights, sat in the dark, breathing so hard I thought my chest would explode. A few seconds later, another buzz, louder. Another drone joined the first. They know I'm close, I whispered. The burner buzzed. Harper again. Elias? She said quickly. They spotted you. No kidding. 2 SUVs inbound to your sector. ETA 5 minutes. I slammed my head back against the seat. I can't keep running like this. You don't have to, she said. There's a decoy route marked on the map. See the blue line? I grabbed the map, eyes scanning. There. A disused freight rail line that paralleled the main road. Follow that. It'll get you within 5 miles of D.C. without hitting a single checkpoint. And then what? Then, she hesitated. Then you finish this. Her voice dropped to something softer, real, vulnerable. Elias, if you pull this off, you don't just save me. You save a lot of people. I gritted my teeth. No pressure. I fired up the engine. All right, let's finish this. The tires bit into the dirt. I shot out of the tunnel, gunning for that rail line. The clock was ticking, and failure wasn't an option. The freight rail line was barely more than 2 rusted tracks swallowed by weeds. I bounced along the rough path, the sedan rattling like it might disintegrate at any moment. But I didn't care. As long as it moved, I was moving. Every minute felt like an hour. The burner phone stayed silent. No pings, no updates. I didn't know if that was a good thing, or the calm before the storm. As I crept around an old rail yard, a flash of movement caught my eye. Two figures in tactical gear scanning the area ahead. Damn it, I muttered, ducking low in the seat. They're everywhere. They hadn't seen me. Not yet. I checked the map. There was a maintenance tunnel up ahead, ran under a service bridge, then popped out behind a commercial district. If I made it there, I'd be within 5 miles of the drop point. I eased the car forward, keeping low behind stacked cargo containers. The agents moved off, focused on scanning the perimeter. Easy. Easy. Suddenly, crack. My rear tire popped. Oh, come on, I hissed. I jumped out to check, a rusted nail right through the sidewall. Harper's words echoed in my head. If you see a drone, ditch the car. I sighed. Guess I'm walking. I grabbed the duffel, slung it over my shoulder, and sprinted toward the tunnel entrance. Gravel crunched underfoot, but the tunnel swallowed the sound as I ducked inside. Dark, tight, smelled like damp concrete and old oil. Halfway through, my burner buzzed. I fumbled it open. Talk, I whispered. Harper's voice came through, tense. You've got 2 squads rerouting. Scans show them tightening a perimeter around the drop site. Of course they are. New problem, she added. Intercepted chatter says they've ID'd the courier manifest Nico faked. It's burned. I stopped dead in my tracks. So I can't walk in. Not as a courier, no. Then how? Harper hesitated. There's one option left. Oh no, 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 no. Every time you say that, it ends with me getting shot at. I mean it, she pressed. There's a rooftop access hatch 3 buildings east of the drop point. Maintenance crews use it. If you can get there, you'll bypass the lobby checkpoints. Rooftop infiltration, I muttered. Because that's totally a thing regular Uber drivers are trained for. You've come this far. Yeah, because I was stupid. A beat of silence. Then Harper's voice softened. No, Elias, because you're brave. For a second, just a second, the panic dulled. All right, I sighed. Send me the coordinates. A ping hit the burner. Map updated. I climbed out of the tunnel into the backlot of an office complex, crouching behind dumpsters as a black van rolled by. Sweat dripped down my spine. Every noise felt amplified. Footsteps, engines, radios. I scaled a chain-link fence, dropped into an alley, and sprinted across the lot to the maintenance ladder marked on the map. Up you go, I muttered to myself, grabbing the first rung. The climb felt endless. Every muscle screamed. My hand slipped once, but I caught myself. At the top, I hoisted onto the gravel rooftop, flattened against an air conditioning unit, and peeked over the ledge. There it was. The Independent Media Alliance building. 3 floors, glass facade. Boring, corporate, totally innocent looking. Except it wasn't. 2 black SUVs sat at the curb. 4 men posted at the entrance. Earpieces. Tactical gear, not your average mall security. My heartbeat was a jackhammer. I scanned the roof, found the hatch Harper mentioned. 10 yards. Wide open space. And then, movement. A patrol. 2 guards on the rooftop, walking the perimeter. Perfect, I whispered bitterly. I checked the duffel. Stun gun. Smoke bomb. A fake ID badge with some generic maintenance company logo. No weapons. Nothing lethal. All right, Carter, I whispered. Time to see how much those years of running from parking tickets have prepared you for this. The guards rounded the far corner. I sprinted. 5 yards. 8. 10. Dove for the hatch. Yanked it open. Dropped inside. No alarm. Holy crap, it actually worked. I landed in a stairwell. Quiet. Empty. I pulled the map up again. Server room. 3rd floor. East wing. Footsteps echoed below. I pulled my cap low, grabbed the clipboard from the duffel, and walked like I belonged here. Inside, every fiber of my being screamed run. But my legs carried me forward, because if I didn't finish this, no one would. The hallway was too quiet. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting everything in a sterile, eerie glow. I kept my head down, gripping the clipboard like it was some kind of magic shield. Act natural, I whispered. Natural. Totally just fixing vents. Or something. A man in a blazer rounded the corner. I felt his eyes on me as he passed, but he kept walking. I let out a shaky breath. Okay, good. Yes, vents. Totally fixing vents. I reached the third floor. According to the map, the server room was on the east wing, past 2 security checkpoints. I turned the corner, and there it was. Checkpoint 1. A bored security guard scrolling through his phone at a desk. Behind him, a keycard locked door with a red LED blinking. I ducked back before he noticed me and yanked out the burner. "Harper," I whispered. "Got a locked door and a rent-a-cop." Her voice came in quick. "Back corner of the hallway, electrical panel. Pop it open." I scanned. There. I sprinted low, yanked the panel cover, wires and switches everywhere. "Which one?" "Blue, green, and the small white one on the right. Cut in that order." "Cut? Do it!" I gritted my teeth, snapped the blue, then green, then the small white. The lights in the hall flickered. The guard's phone glitched. Screen went dead. "What the—" he muttered, standing. I didn't wait. I strode straight past him, flashing the clipboard like I was supposed to be there. "System's acting up." "I'll check it," I said, keeping my voice bored, dismissive. He barely glanced at me. "Yeah, sure. Whatever." The card reader beeped, unlocked. I slipped inside. Server room. Rows of humming towers. LED lights blinking. Cold air blasted from the AC. The heartbeat of information itself. I pulled the drive from my jacket, scanned the racks until I found the access point Nico had marked. There. A diagnostic terminal. No password. God bless lazy IT. I plugged the drive in. A loading bar flashed. "Initializing data cascade." Come on, come on. Suddenly, the door handle rattled. "Hey!" a voice barked outside. "This door's supposed to stay locked." Panic surged. I glanced around. No exits, no windows, nowhere to run. 60%, 75%. "Open the door," the guard yelled. His radio crackled. "We got a breach on 3. 91%. I yanked the smoke bomb from the bag, pulled the pin, and dropped it. Instantly, the room filled with thick, choking clouds. "Open it!" Bang! The door slammed open. 2 guards stormed in, guns raised, but the smoke had them blind. I ducked between the server racks, crawling. Upload complete. A green checkmark flashed on the screen. Data live. My chest seized. I did it. I did it. But celebration could wait. "There! Move!" One of the guards caught my silhouette. A stun round cracked past me, hit the server rack with a loud pop. I dove toward the vent Nico had marked as an emergency exit. Yanked the cover, squeezed in. It was tight. Metal scraped my elbows. I belly crawled like my life depended on it. Because it absolutely did. Behind me, shouts, more stun rounds, boots stomping. I crawled faster. Light spilled in ahead. An opening. I shoved myself forward, slid out, right onto the rooftop again. Gunfire cracked from the stairwell door as it burst open. I sprinted. "Come on!" I screamed at my legs. A fire escape. Thank God. I hurled myself onto the ladder, slid down, hit the pavement, and rolled. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. Just ran. Across the street, down the alley, left, right. My burner buzzed. Harper's voice, urgent. "It's live, Elias. The whole thing's live. Every news outlet has it. They can't cover it up." I laughed, a wild, desperate, disbelieving laugh. "I did it. I freaking did it." They'll be pulling back now. Losing authorization. Panic setting in. As if on cue, the black SUVs peeled away from the curb, tires screeching. "Meet me at the fallback point," Harper ordered. "You're almost done." "Almost," I panted, ducking into another alley. "Let's finish this." My legs were jelly, lungs burning, but I didn't stop. Not until I reached the fallback point Harper marked. An old parking garage 3 blocks south of the drop site. The kind of place nobody notices because nobody wants to. I slid behind a rusted column, sucking in air like I'd never breathe again. Then, footsteps. I tensed, ready to bolt, until... "It's me." Harper's voice cut through the echo. She emerged from the shadows, face streaked with grime, bun loosened, a scratch down one cheek, but alive. "You did it," she said, her voice tight but proud. "It's everywhere. News feeds, social, independent media. They can't stop it." I collapsed against the wall, head thudding back. "I seriously can't believe I'm still breathing. You and me both." For a moment we just sat there. Two strangers bound by chaos. Then Harper stood, checked her watch. It's not over, not yet. My head snapped up. What? The head of this whole operation, the mole, is making a run for it. We intercepted chatter. He's flying out of Dulles in 90 minutes. I blinked. 90 minutes? If he gets out, he disappears forever. No trial, no accountability. I pushed myself upright. So, what? We go to the airport and arrest him? Harper shook her head. No, we expose him. Live, public. She yanked a camera from her bag, a tiny body-worn live stream rig. We hijack his departure, force him into the light. Once his face hits the same feeds that just published the data, he's untouchable. They can't make him vanish. My stomach twisted. Harper, I'm an Uber driver. I don't do sting operations at international airports. Her hand clamped my shoulder. Elias, you've been doing them all day. I stared at her, at the camera, at the distant scream of a siren in the city. Then something clicked. I was still scared, terrified even. But somewhere along the way, fear stopped being a reason to quit. All right, I exhaled. Let's crash an airport. She smiled. Good. Get in. Nico's last car is parked in the lower level. As we jogged down, my phone buzzed. A flood of notifications, news headlines, tweets, live videos. All the same breaking alert. Massive CIA leak exposes shadow ops, internal corruption. It was everywhere. People knew. The world knew. But Harper was right. The mole, the person behind this, was still breathing, still escaping. We reached the car, a black SUV with stolen tags and no paperwork. Harper slid behind the wheel. You drive this time? I asked, half hoping. She smirked. Nope. You're better at this than you think. I groaned, climbing in. Dulles, here we come. As the engine rumbled to life, Harper pulled up an aerial map. Here's the plan. His plane's on a private runway. He's using diplomatic clearance. Fake, but it'll hold unless someone disrupts it. And that's us. Exactly. I merged onto the freeway. Sirens and news choppers filled the air, but none were chasing us. Yet. Harper scanned her tablet. There's a service entrance along the east perimeter. Weakest security. We get close, set the stream live, force his face onto the same feeds. No plausible deniability. Backup plan. She grinned. You drive fast, I shoot straight. Somehow, I believed her. The city blurred behind us. The airport loomed ahead. And I realized something wild. Something terrifying. I wasn't the same guy who started this ride. I wasn't just a driver anymore. I was part of this. And one way or another, I was seeing it through. The highway opened up, but my pulse didn't slow. If anything, it ramped higher. Dulles loomed ahead, lights blazing in the night like a city unto itself. Planes lined the runway, private jets, commercial flights. And somewhere among them, the man behind this entire nightmare. The plane's wheels up in less than 70 minutes, Harper said, scrolling through her tablet. We missed this window. He's gone. Gone forever. I gripped the wheel tighter. No pressure. She glanced at me, a smirk tugging her lip. Elias, you're handling this better than most field agents I've worked with. Don't say that. I'm still debating whether to throw up or cry. She laughed, a short, genuine sound. Hold both until we're done. The GPS Harper hacked showed a service entrance about half a mile from the private hangars. No toll booths, no customs. No guards? I asked, squinting ahead. Oh, there'll be guards, she said. Just not expecting us. As we neared the fence line, Harper popped open a panel in the center console. Inside was a fake airport maintenance badge and a high-vis vest. Throw that on. Really leaning into this fake jobs theme today, huh? Own it, she said. Confidence gets you past half the doors in this world. I pulled the vest over my hoodie, slipped the badge around my neck, and plastered on the most exhausted, underpaid worker face I could muster. As we approached the gate, a bored security officer stepped out of a tiny booth, flashlight in hand. Harper rolled down her window. Hey, dispatch called in a compressor fault at Hangar C. They said someone had unlocked for us. The guard squinted at the badge, yawned. Nobody called down here. Classic dispatch, Harper sighed. Always dropping the ball. He scratched his neck, eyed the SUV, then the tablet Harper held, pretending to check schematics. Fine, go. but log it at the checkpoint up the way. Absolutely. Harper nodded. Gate rolled open. I hit the gas. Inside the fence, the runway stretched wide, lined with private planes. In the distance, spotlights glowed on a Gulfstream jet, engines already whining to life. That's him, Harper said. Tail number matches. He's boarding. Panic surged. We are way too late. Not yet. Harper slapped the live stream rig onto her jacket. As soon as we're in line of sight, go live. I floored it, tires screaming. An airport utility truck swerved as we passed. 2 security officers yelled, fumbling for radios. Company van approaching private hangar. Confirm? Crackled over the speakers mounted around the tarmac. Harper clicked the stream. We are live. She threw open the passenger door, stood up in her seat, body halfway out the window. The camera feed flashed green. Laser-focused, she aimed it straight at the man stepping into the jet. Slick gray suit, aviator glasses, flanked by 2 men with earpieces. That's him! Harper shouted into the feed. The mole! The man behind the Black Network. Name, Edmund Vaughn, Deputy Director of Counterintelligence. The radio exploded with panicked chatter. I skidded the SUV sideways to block the staircase to the jet. Vaughn froze. His eyes snapped to the camera, realization dawning. Get that camera down, one of his men screamed, drawing a weapon. Too late. The live stream was broadcasting to tens of millions. His face, his name, his crimes. The airport security scrambled, half trying to stop Harper, half now completely unsure of who the bad guys actually were. Vaughn bolted for the jet. Not happening, Harper growled. She dove from the SUV, tackled one of the guards, disarmed him with a brutal twist. I followed, ran straight at Vaughn as he scrambled up the stairs. He turned, hand diving for something. Maybe a weapon, maybe a badge, maybe an excuse. I didn't wait to find out. I tackled him. We both hit the metal stairs hard. Vaughn swung, fist connecting with my jaw. Stars exploded across my vision. But I didn't let go. I pinned him down just as Harper arrived, cuffs snapping over his wrists. Game over, she said, hauling him upright. Sirens wailed. Airport security converged, but not with guns drawn. Not at us. The radio chatter had shifted. Orders revoked. Stand down. All units, cancel intercept. Suspect is Vaughn. Repeat, Vaughn. It worked. It actually worked. Harper turned the camera back to her face, breathless but steady. Public record, proof uploaded, corruption exposed. She turned to me, a wild grin breaking through. Elias, you just brought down the biggest mole in CIA history. I blinked, dazed. Can I give you a 5-star rating for this ride? Harper burst out laughing. Sirens closed in. Agents, journalists, everyone. The whole world was watching, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't just a driver anymore. Blue and red lights danced against the jet's polished hull. Sirens wailed, but they weren't for us anymore. Vaughn sat cuffed against the side of a security vehicle, head down, face plastered across every screen in the country. Harper paced, watching the scene unfold. Her posture was tense, not victory yet, not until every loose end was tied. A suited man broke from the crowd, mid-50s, salt and pepper hair, badge clipped to his belt. Not airport security, not a cop, someone bigger. Harper, he barked as he approached. She stiffened, jaw tight. Director Mason. Director, as in CIA director. You really blew the lid off this one, Mason growled. Do you have any idea? Yeah, I do. Harper cut him off, dead calm. And now the entire world does too. His glare flicked to me. And who's this? Driver, Harper said. Best damn extraction I've ever had. I gave a weak wave. Hi. Mason sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. This is a hell of a mess. No, Harper corrected, stepping closer. This is cleanup. She pulled the drive from her jacket, the same one Nico copied the files onto. Everything, all of it, on here, and already broadcasted. No more cover-ups. Mason's face tightened. The agency's going to take a hit. Good, Harper snapped. It should. For a moment I thought they might actually come to blows, but then Mason sighed, heavy and tired. Fine, Vaughn's going into federal custody. Public, transparent, no more backrooms. You swear it? Harper asked, eyes narrowing. On my badge. Harper studied him for a long, tense second, then nodded. Agents moved in, hauling Vaughn into a blacked-out transport van. Journalists swarmed, shouting questions, flashes popping. Mason turned back to me. "And you, Elias Carter?" I swallowed. "Yeah? You've just been involved in a classified op, technically committed several felonies, and simultaneously saved this agency from collapse." I blinked. "So, am I arrested? Or promoted?" He actually cracked the faintest smile. "Neither. We'll scrub your name from the files. You were never here." "Wait, so I don't even get a medal? Or, I don't know, free Uber Gold membership?" Harper laughed quietly beside me. Mason shook his head. "You get something better. You get to walk away. Clean. No targets on your back." He handed me a card, plain white, no logo, just a number. "If anyone ever bothers you about this, call." Then he turned, barked orders to his team, and melted into the swarm of agents. For a long moment, Harper and I just stood there, silent, processing. It was over. Really over. I turned to her. "So, what happens to you?" She sighed. "Probably internal review, maybe early retirement, maybe I disappear for a while." A pause. Then, a small smile. "Or maybe I start driving Uber. Seems like decent money." I chuckled. "Yeah, hazard pay's negotiable." A sudden quiet settled between us. A weird mix of exhaustion, relief, and something else. Gratitude, maybe, or disbelief that we were both still alive. She reached out, hand open. "Elias, thank you." I shook it, gripping tighter than I meant to. "Harper, you're insane. But, yeah, you too." A car pulled up, a plain black sedan. "Your ride?" I asked. "Yeah." "Yours?" I looked around, then laughed. "No clue. I think my Corolla's still back in D.C. somewhere." She grinned, slipping into the sedan. Before closing the door, she glanced back. "Hey, Carter?" "Yeah?" "Next time you get a ride request, maybe check who you're picking up first." I laughed. "Yeah, no kidding." The door shut. The sedan rolled away. And just like that, she was gone. I stood there for a while, watching the chaos die down, watching the lights fade. Then my phone buzzed. An Uber ride request. I stared at it. For a second, I almost declined. But then I chuckled, shook my head, and hit accept. Because, after all, it's just another day. It took a while before my heartbeat remembered how to behave like a normal human's. As the chaos faded behind me, I started walking. No destination, no plan. Just walking, processing. Somewhere between the security perimeter and the main airport parking lot, reality started creeping back in. My phone buzzed. "Reminder, oil change due, 500 miles overdue." I stared at it and laughed. Full, ridiculous laughter. "I almost died 3 times today. And you're worried about oil?" The absurdity hit harder than anything else. I reached the lot, and by some miracle, there was my Corolla. Parked crooked. Ticketed, but still there. Little Champ survived the apocalypse. The windshield had a bright orange violation sticker on it. I peeled it off and muttered, Yeah, write me up." As I climbed in, the engine coughed awake like it hadn't just been abandoned in the middle of a federal takedown. The smell of stale coffee and fast food wrappers wrapped around me like an old hoodie. Familiar. Safe. My ride. I stared at the steering wheel, trying to convince myself this was real, that I hadn't hallucinated the last 24 hours. The burner phone buzzed, not the usual ringtone. A message. Unknown sender. "You did good. Stay sharp. H." A grin crept across my face. "Harper, you're unbelievable." I typed back, "No plans to drive international spies again, but thanks." No reply. Fair enough. Then, my Uber app dinged. A request. I hovered over it. Part of me thought, forget it. Walk away. Get a normal job. Sell hot dogs at the beach. Anything but this. But another part, the bigger part, the part that had kicked through gates, dodged drones, crawled through vents. That part grinned. I hit accept. Pickup, Georgetown. Destination, Arlington. Normal. Chill. Probably. As I pulled out of the lot, the radio crackled. News was still flooding in. The biggest intelligence leak in U.S. history. Sources confirm the arrest of Deputy Director Edmund Vaughn, accused of orchestrating. I turned it off. Nope. Not today. I cruised toward the pickup, watching the sunset paint the clouds gold. For the first time in what felt like a year, the world looked kind of peaceful. As I stopped at a red light, something caught my eye. A woman on the sidewalk. Dark hair in a bun. Navy blazer. Glasses reflecting the light. For a split second, I thought it was Harper, but it wasn't. Just someone else, rushing to wherever life was pulling them. Still, I smiled, because somewhere out there, Harper was probably slipping through shadows, writing her own rules, and making sure the bad guys never got too comfortable. And me? I was back to rideshare, except, not really. I wasn't the same guy who started this ride. I was the guy who took a CIA agent on a high-speed chase, evaded drones, exposed one of the deepest conspiracies in modern history, and still managed to get back in time for my next pickup. Just another day. Georgetown was its usual blend of chaos. College students jaywalking, politicians pretending they weren't important, and tourists taking selfies like their lives depended on it. As I rolled through, the city felt different. Or maybe I felt different. The app pinged again. Rider, Ava. Destination, Arlington. I pulled up outside a brick townhouse. The door opened and out stepped a woman, mid-30s, sharp blazer, laptop bag slung over one shoulder. She glanced at her phone, then up at me. "You Elias?" she asked. "Yep, that's me," I replied, forcing my voice into normal driver mode. She slid into the back seat, buckled up. "Thanks. Been a long day." "Oh, you have no idea," I chuckled under my breath. I eased the car back into traffic, heading toward Arlington. "So," she asked casually, "how's your day been?" I stared at the road for a second longer than necessary, then smiled. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." She laughed. "Try me." I bit my tongue. "Nope. National security, buddy. Keep it boring." "Just the usual," I said. "Traffic. Weird passengers. Someone tried to pay me in Bitcoin." "Classic DC," she chuckled. As we crossed the bridge, my phone buzzed, but not the Uber app. The burner phone. Again. I glanced down. Another message. Unknown sender. "Keep an eye out. Not everything's tied up yet. H." My grip tightened on the wheel. A quick glance in the rear view. Nothing suspicious. Or was there? Black sedan 3 cars back. Or maybe I was just seeing ghosts now. "Everything okay?" Ava asked, noticing my sudden silence. "Yeah, just thought I saw someone I know." The words felt heavier than they should. Ava smiled, looking back out the window. Small world. Yeah, too small sometimes. The rest of the ride was uneventful, almost aggressively normal. We pulled into a downtown office complex in Arlington. As she unbuckled, Ava paused. "Hey, this is gonna sound weird, but do I know you?" My heart skipped. Don't think so." She tilted her head. "Huh. You just seem familiar." I smiled. "Maybe I've got one of those faces." "Yeah, maybe." She slid out, gave a polite wave, and disappeared into the building. I sat there for a moment, watching the door close behind her. Was it paranoia? Or was Harper right? Not everything's tied up yet. I tapped the burner phone. Thought about texting back. Thought better of it. Instead, I fired up the Uber app. Another ping. Rider, classified. Destination, unknown. I blinked. No. No way. I refreshed the app. The name flickered, glitched, then resolved. Rider, Sam. Destination, Bethesda. My breath eased. "Okay," I muttered. "Okay, not everything's a conspiracy. At least, not yet." As I pulled away from the curb, I realized something. No matter how crazy this gets, no matter how deep the rabbit hole goes, I'm always going to check that rearview mirror just a little bit more than I used to. Because out here, even the most ordinary ride could change everything. Bethesda traffic was the same frustrating mess it always was. Horns blaring, people cutting each other off, pedestrians treating crosswalks like suggestions. But despite the chaos, I couldn't shake the creeping tension in my chest. The burner phone sat on the passenger seat like a live grenade. Harper's message echoed over and over. Not everything's tied up yet. I turned onto Wisconsin Avenue, scanning every car in my mirrors, every tinted window, every driver wearing sunglasses when there was barely a hint of sun. Paranoid, or prepared. The line was getting blurry. I pulled up to the next pickup, a guy in his 20s, hoodie, backpack, AirPods in. He gave me a lazy nod, slid into the back, barely acknowledged me. "Morning," I said, forcing normalcy. "Yeah, cool," he mumbled. "Okay, normal, totally normal. Nothing spy-related about this dude." As I drove, my phone buzzed again. This time, not the burner. A regular call. No caller ID. My thumb hovered. Should I answer? Screw it. I tapped accept. "Yeah?" Silence. Then a voice. Deep, mechanical, masked through a scrambler. "You should have stayed out of it." Ice shot down my spine. "What?" The line went dead. I slammed the brakes harder than I should have. The passenger jolted forward. "Yo!" "What the—" Sorry, I muttered, heart hammering. The kid shook his head, popped his AirPods back in. "Dude, drivers lately—" I forced a breath. Okay, maybe it was a prank, or maybe not. The burner buzzed immediately. Unknown sender. "Told you, eyes open. Meet me, usual spot." I laughed bitterly. "Usual spot? I've known you for what? 24 hours, Harper?" But I knew exactly where she meant. The old coffee shop in Georgetown. Same one where this nightmare started, where her first ping hit my app. I dropped off the kid, hit complete ride, then floored it back toward the city. As I crossed the Key Bridge, my nerves jangled like live wires. Black SUVs? None. Tail cars? Didn't spot any. But I wasn't dumb enough to believe that meant I was in the clear. Georgetown was quieter now. Less sirens, fewer helicopters. But tension still hung in the air, like the city itself was holding its breath, waiting to see what happened next. I pulled into the coffee shop lot, and there she was, Harper, sitting outside, sunglasses on, sipping something iced like she wasn't the most wanted or recently cleared agent on the East Coast. She glanced up as I parked, smiled. "Took you long enough." I slid into the seat across from her. "What was that call?" Her expression darkened. "A warning. Same one I got." "Means someone slipped the net." My stomach dropped. I thought this was over. She shook her head. "It's never really over. Vaughn was the head, but heads grow back when you don't burn the roots." I sank back. "So, what? You going back in?" She pulled a tablet from her bag, slid it toward me. On screen, photos, surveillance, a map with red dots scattered all over D.C., New York, London, Dubai. "This is bigger than we thought," she said quietly. Vaughn wasn't the only player, just the most visible. I stared at it. "Why show me this?" "Because," she said, leaning forward, lowering her voice, "you're in this now. You've seen the seams. You know the rules." My mouth went dry. "Harper, I'm a driver." "Were," she corrected. "But after what you pulled off, you've got instincts we can't teach." I shook my head. No. I'm not some rogue agent. I'm not joining the CIA." She grinned. "Did I say anything about the CIA?" My jaw locked. "Oh, no. Nope. Not happening." Her smile widened. "Relax. Not today." I leaned back, breathing hard. "Good. Because I swear, if I see one more black SUV..." Harper's eyes flicked past me. I turned. Black SUV, windows tinted, rolling slow past the cafe. Harper chuckled, raising her iced coffee. "Cheers." I groaned, dropping my head to the table. "You've got to be kidding me." I sat there, head against the table, trying to decide if laughing or panicking was the right move. Harper sipped her iced coffee like this was just Tuesday. "Relax," she said, not even turning to watch the SUV. "They're not here for us, probably." I peeked over my shoulder. The SUV slowed, paused, then rolled on. "See?" Harper grinned. "Perfectly normal. Nothing about my life is normal anymore." She tilted her head. "Yeah, about that." I groaned. "Oh no, don't. Whatever it is, the answer is no." Harper slid the tablet closer. The screen flashed a list of offshore accounts, encrypted emails, shipment logs, like someone ripped open the guts of every shadow operation still running. "Elias, This isn't a one and done, she said quietly. You exposed Vaughn. You tore the mask off. But the machine, it's still running. And you want me to… What? Join you? No, not join. Partner. I laughed, bitter, disbelieving. I drive Uber, Harper. She leaned forward. You drove an Uber through a surveillance dragnet, evaded drones, outsmarted trained killers, exposed one of the highest-ranking officials in U.S. intelligence. You've got better instincts than half the field agents I've ever met. I sat back, silent, processing. She let the silence hang, then softened. Look, you don't have to say yes. You can walk away. Right now, I'll wipe everything. Your name disappears. Back to normal. Forget it ever happened. I opened my mouth, closed it. The truth hit me harder than any punch. I couldn't go back. Not really. Because every time a tinted SUV passed, every time a passenger glanced a little too long in the mirror, I'd wonder. I'd know the world wasn't what it pretended to be. I walk, and it finds me anyway, doesn't it? I muttered. Harper's gaze softened. Yeah, it does. I stared at the tablet, at the mess of names, locations, operations still breathing under the surface of everything. Then I grinned. A small one, reluctant, but real. Fine, I said, but I drive. Harper laughed, pushing her sunglasses up. Deal. She stood, grabbed her bag and tossed me a burner phone, sleek, encrypted, nothing like the last one. Keep that on, she said. I'll be in touch. Yeah? I asked. When? She smiled as she stepped away. When the next ride starts. She disappeared into the crowd. I sat there for a long moment, watching the street, watching the world. Then my regular phone buzzed. An Uber ping. Pick up, Harper, destination, unknown. I blinked. Then I laughed. Hard. I hit accept, because whether it was a politician, a college kid, or a rogue CIA agent, this was still my car, and whatever came next, it was just another day.